Well, hi once again, everybody. Welcome into another show of Pick Your Politics. I'm Dennis Silvers, along with my great co-host Stephanie Phillips, and we've been on kind of a educational theme, if you will, talking to people heavily involved in education and all of the matters that surround that with their kids and teachers and school districts and so on and so forth. And as Stephanie and I have mentioned before, it's really become a hot potato in this year's elections.
It is. It's a big topic. It's a big thing for parents. Arizona just passed their school choice laws down there, and I think that's going to take off, and the rest of the country is going to follow.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and we've got a great guest on for you today, and I want to Mulligan to say hello. He's our mascot and our decision dog here, and he likes to pop up every once in a while.
He's falling asleep.
Yeah, he's falling asleep.
He wants to take a nap.
Yeah, I like that. Anyway, let me give you a little bit of a background on our special guest today, Walter Blanks Jr. Walter is the press secretary for the Federation for Children organization. Walter championed educational freedom, sharing his story across the nation while serving as a 2018 50 Can National Voices Fellow, and we'll talk about that, what that means. And basically, it's an organization that seeks out and finds leaders to become leaders in education. Walter also serves as a spokesperson for AFC and frequently appears in local and national print and news media and great podcasts like we have going right now. Walter received his bachelor's degree in journalism and media production, which I love, from Mount Vernon Nazareth University in Mount Vernon, Ohio. Great part of the country. So without further ado, Stephanie and I want to welcome Walter Blanks Jr. And welcome to the show, Walter. I know you're busy, and we appreciate you taking some time out, coming on the show, and joining all of us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Love the agent dog there. So it's a really great time.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I want to start this. How old are you, Walter? Because the stuff I read about you was a few years back, but I want to let everybody know how old you are.
Yes, I'm 27 years old. 27 this July. So very, very excited to be the next generation of the educational fighters, freedom fighters is which I like to refer to it as, but still plenty in the tank and blessed position that I'm in.
Okay. I know that you had something very special happen to you a short while ago, or a while ago, I want you to talk about. It's got to give you a lot of memories, and I want you to take a look at this, and then we're going to ask you some question about it. So take a look at this, Walter.
So, Walter, what do you have planned?
I'm coming for the White House.
I can
Who was that guy to your right, and how the hell did that happen?
Well, it was, of course, 45th president of the United States, President J. Trump, and that was absolutely a real experience. I had just graduated college about 6 months prior to that, had moved to D.C., doing really great work with the Federation. Sitting at my desk, trying to learn the game, still trying to get down, my political attire, my professional attire, all those things. And I kept number on my phone. It was a number, and someone from our team was like, "Walter, pick up your phone. The White House is calling." And so it was an invite from White House. They informed me that the was working on an educational round and heard my story and really to be a part of. I'm absolutely stoked, right? A young kid fresh out of college.
Oh, I imagine.
Going to the White House. And our office in D.C. was 10 minutes walk from the White House. So I've walked past it. So I picked out my course, breasted, bringing back some old school style. But in, we had previously worked with Secretary of Education, and so was familiar with her, but she was the only face that I recognized in the room, and so we're sitting there talking some of the work that I've been doing, and they're one that the president's going to be coming in soon. Find your seats around the table, and up until that, we didn't even know that the president would be there. I was just there to give my experience, so I had some trouble finding my nameplate, and Secretary taps me on the shoulder and says, "Walter, nameplate's on the other side." And next to mine, I saw there was a name just said president, and I was waiting for the cameras to come like gotcha. But sure enough, he walked in the room, and it was incredible how much power he had sitting in that position, and the room immediately stopped, everything stopped. He came over, took my and sat down, gave a rundown of what was going to happen in the station, and over at me, probably get better press than I do, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm sitting here right next to the United States. He's cracking jokes, and it was really a really great time. And then that clip, of course, he asked me planned, and first I was very planned, right? Whenever I have same opportunities that I did, but instead what came out of my mouth was I'm coming for the White House. So in that moment, put him on notice and to the nation on notice that that's something inspiring to accomplish.
That's so awesome.
Walter, we're having a bit of a problem with your audio for some reason, and you're just too good of a guest to have this broken up, if you will. And I don't know whether it's our connection or whether it might be your connection, but I'm just thinking,
should we take a break?
Should we take a break or reschedule? Because we want to get your whole story. And I'm sure you would want it that way too.
How about we just take a break, disconnect, and have him come back on and see if our connection is a little bit better. Can we do that, Walter?
Yeah, and
Okay.
it could be my AirPods. Sometimes it's a little tricky.
that's clear right there. Maybe it was the AirPods, because it's all clear now. Yeah.
You think that?
You guys hear me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can you hear? I can hear him a lot better now.
Well, I'm now
We're getting
a little bit of a screech.
Yeah, we're getting feedback, but put those back in your ear and see. Let's try that one more time, because that helped a whole lot when he did that. Hold on.
We're gonna have to reschedule.
No, hold on.
Testing.
It's too slow. That's not going to help.
Let's try one more question, and let's
All right,
see.
we're going to try
Walter.
one more question, Walter. This is what happens, when you go live. It is what it is, and you got to be truthful. But people understand. So if we got to reschedule and bring you back soon, we will.
I want to know. Well, first I have to tell everybody I call you a superstar, and Walter had contacted me on Twitter. From our Pick Your Politics page, and so we talked, and I'm so glad that he reached out and that he found our page and he came on the show. But I want to know how you got started with all of this. Was this because you had school choice when you were in school?
Yeah, I did, and it made all the difference in my life. I grew up in the inner city of Columbus, Ohio, and I was surrounded by poverty, crime, and low expectations. I was severely bullied in the public school system, and my parents tried every single schooling option for me. Community schools, charter schools, homeschool, and nothing worked. And so my mom had it at one point where she actually had to come to the school, and I had a bloody nose, and the principal told her, if you give us 5 years, we can turn this school around and the high school that I would ultimately be going to, and it would be a better place for me. And my mom gave him the craziest look, and she said, in 5 years, Walter will be in jail or in a body bag. And
Wow.
we certainly don't have time for either of those things. And so because of school choice in Ohio, I got out of that school, found myself in a small private Christian school where my educational journey flourished. I was exposed to instruments. I was in plays. I went to Europe for 2 weeks. and I was just exposed to a different world. And as I began to learn exactly what there was, I just started sharing my stories, sharing my experiences, and to make sure that every child had the same opportunities that I did. And then the more events I spoke at, the more times I went to the State House, I really realized that I had a unique perspective in this movement. I wasn't just someone who was bought into school choice. I was saved by school choice.
Yeah.
So now I've devoted my career to ensuring that kids who are coming up after me have the same shot at the American dream like I've had.
Right. No,
That's
and
incredible.
you've certainly taken advantage of it. Having a degree in media production and journalism, is this something you always wanted to do, or did you want to branch out into another genre of the media, so to speak?
Yeah, well, really, what I had thought about is I really wanted to go into the world of sports. I grew up around sports, absolutely loved sports. The university that I attended had a live radio station on campus, so we would simulcast athletic events and all of that. So I was really involved. Really wanted to start my own sports agency where we show
Cool.
the really human like sides of athletes, right? These athletes, these celebrities, we often put them on
Right.
pedestals, but I wondered how cool would it be to watch LeBron James interact with his family on a daily basis, or watch LeBron, make business deals, or see the real life side of him. And at the end of my junior year, I had a really good plan to execute it after college, and I was working an hour away from campus each way, so 2 hour drive there and back. And I
Wow.
really just started praying. I said, Lord, I repent because you and I haven't talked about this at all. I'm making all these life plans. I'm doing all these things, and I haven't talked to you first. I don't even know if this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I asked him. I said, well, what's the plan? What are we really looking at here? And he spoke. He spoke loud and clear, and he said, "I want you in politics. I want you to go after the White House. I want you to, start to pursue those things." And I'm sitting here like, I came from a family, we didn't talk politics. I have no political connections. I barely had enough money for college, let alone, a campaign and,
Yeah.
all of these things. And so I believe that was the plan that the Lord has had for me my entire life. And he essentially backdoored me into politics through my education. And so after graduating college, I made a complete career change, completely different. And now I'm in politics. I have my own aspirations here in Tennessee where I live. I'm doing a lot of work here politically to learn the landscape to ultimately run for office. And so everything that everyone's seeing now today about me has been literally within the past few years. And so I never really wanted this for myself, but I believe that this is where the Lord has positioned me to be, and I'm going to follow Him, and He's
Yeah.
going to see me all the way through. And so
Yeah, that's
I'm
great.
really excited about the progress that I've made, and there's a lot more work to be done.
Yeah. That's so awesome. I
Yeah.
love it. So what's going to be the first office that you run for in Tennessee?
Yeah, so there's a lot of strategy going on right now. We're throwing out a lot of things, and I don't want to give the full playbook away, but I really
Yeah.
want to start locally to really learn the constituents that I would be serving and understand what are the needs, the real life needs of people, whether it's education or economics or healthcare, whatever those issues are. I want to know those issues like the back of my hand so that I can truly represent the needs of the people and what they would ultimately elect me for. And so definitely something local. I'd love to run for Congress at some point, but I'm also very ambitious and say, why not just jump straight to the governor of Tennessee?
Yeah.
And so those
Go
are
for
some things that I'm considering, that I'm playing with, and there has not been a black governor of Tennessee in the history of the state. And so that would be a really cool thing to accomplish
yeah.
and set the example. But so that's kind of the trajectory I'm thinking, all leading towards ultimately the White House. So then I could get in politics, get out, and continue to make a difference and pave the way for people who are coming up after me to take my job and continue the work for our great country.
That's so awesome. I love that. You're going to make history. We're going to be watching you. And you have to be, 35 in order to run for president? Is that right?
Yes,
At
so
least
the
35?
earliest, yeah,
Yeah.
yes, the earliest election that I could run would be the 2032 election. So, working towards that, I just want to be ready whenever it's time to jump. I want to make sure that I'm in position and prepared. So, got the date already marked on my calendar, and really
I love
working
it.
towards that.
Well, I
love
always
it.
say go big or go home. So
Yeah, exactly.
I am behind you 1,000%.
If
So
you're going to do something, you do it right. Walter, let me ask you what is the biggest advantage in your mind of parents having school choice?
Oh my goodness, it's freedom, it's opportunity, it's access, it's options. All of those great words that honestly we founded our country on. When parents are in the driver's seat of their children's education and they're invested and they're making those decisions, it makes a difference in the life of a child, all the difference. And I believe a high quality education is ultimately the great equalizer, right? It doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter your family background, the color of your skin, how much money your family makes. If you have a solid education, there's no limits to what you
Yeah.
can accomplish. I mean, look at me, came from a lower income community, the hood of Columbus, Ohio. I now have lived in 4 different states. I'm now recently a real estate investor.
Wow.
And I understand I'm learning every single day how the political game is played. And all of that is attributed to my education. And there's nothing that I can't accomplish in my own life because I know that if I put my mind to it, I get a great plan, I get a great team around me. There's nothing we can't accomplish.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of our country. Doesn't matter what you look like, where you come from.
Right.
If you're good at what you do and you bring value, you can accomplish anything. And,
Yeah,
and
100%.
all of that at the core of it is education. And if we can unlock that in every single child, our country would be in a far better place.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, I'm a real estate broker and I've been here almost 30 years in that business. And I saw that post that you made and I wanted to ask you about the property that you purchased. I think that's great. Tell us about that.
Yeah, a lot of my community here in Nashville. I've only been in Nashville for a few months. A lot of my community here are real estate investors, business owners, entrepreneurs, and you hang around it long enough, you start to pick up a few things. And so, a deal came across the table here at the office, and it was a 3 property deal. And it was a really good deal. And I started looking at the numbers and everything, and I'm like, okay, this might be time to really jump. And I was like, oh, like I'm a little nervous. I don't know a ton about this stuff just yet. But then I found out that the 3 properties are in Pulaski, Tennessee, which is the birthplace of the KKK.
Wow.
And after I found that out, I said, I want these. These are mine. I told everyone here that I'm connected with, look, these properties are mine. And I actually named my LLC Redeemed Real Estate. And so being able to go into a city with such strong hate for people that look like me, to go in and buy 3 properties. And then I'm actually looking at more properties out there now. But it was just an incredible opportunity to redeem something that once was ugly, not favorable, right? Like during that time, people that looked like me couldn't even buy property.
Yeah.
Right.
And I wanted to begin to break the cycle of generational poverty in my family and in my community. And this is the best way to do it. And so dabbling in that, heavy into politics. I like to refer to myself as a Renaissance man. But really, at the end of the day, I'm a patriot through and through. I love our country. I love guns. I love Jesus. And I love opportunity. And I believe that I am the spokesperson and the epitome of the American dream. And it doesn't get any better than that. And so if I can
No.
inspire one person to take charge of their destiny and do great things, then all of this is worth it.
I
Yeah,
love it.
you
I
were-
vote for Walter.
Yeah, he's living large. I'm glad you said spokesperson because not only, by the way, our special guest is Walter Blanks Jr., who is the press secretary for Federation of Children Organization. Not only are you the press secretary, obviously, but you're also the spokesperson for them. You get a chance to travel throughout the country giving your message. You got to be loving that. And how much do you travel?
Oh, I love it, and I've been traveling a ton over the past few years. Actually, this was the first month that I actually at home longer than 3 weeks, and so it's
Wow.
been nice to kind of kick back. But I think this year I'm roughly at 60, 65 flights just this year alone.
Wow.
Wow.
Last
Wow.
year it was like 57 or something like that. But it's incredible being able to crisscross the entire country and be able to advocate for students. Doesn't matter where they are, anywhere where
Right.
there's a need for
Right.
educational freedom, I'm there. And so listening to stories, teaming up with legislators across the country to really push school choice through at the state and local level, and even at the federal level, it's been a tremendous honor. I've seen so much. I've traveled so much, and if you told Walter that he would have traveled to 40 states in the country and have met so many incredible people, he wouldn't believe you. And so I'm living a completely different life. I'm my parents' wildest dream, and I'm just here to play my role and to make sure that every single child has that same shot.
What could
That's
Stephanie
awesome.
and I do to get you out here to Las Vegas, to Southern Nevada?
Yeah.
We need help out here too, my friend.
Yeah.
And one of our heavy hitters on our staff is actually there in Las Vegas, and so I
That's
would
right.
love to connect you guys with her and the work that she's doing. But yeah, give me a call. I'd love to come out. Any reason I can come out to Vegas, I would. I'd
We could have him come out to the Power to Parent Gala
Oh, absolutely.
when
Oh,
she
absolutely.
puts that on. That'd be
Yeah.
perfect. I was on your website last night, and I wanted to ask you about the school choice boys, Black Minds Matter, and the Federación para los Niños. Can you talk about that a little bit and tell us what that's about?
Yeah, so our organization, we extend those into every single thing that we possibly can. And so the School Choice Boys, I'm glad you brought that up. This is an initiative my colleague and I created. Nathan, huge shout out if you're watching. But we really wanted to bring the issue of education to parents, to students, and make them excited about it. Education, we were looking at a Harvard poll. Education falls out of the top 10 when it comes to most important issues that people care about. And so Nathan and I put our heads together and thought, how do we make education a top priority for every American? And so we do that in a lot of different ways. We do school tours across the country. We visit schools. We see where school choice is alive and well and thriving, and they love it. We do cool TikTok videos, social media pushes. We've spoken at a few events over the past year or so, just sharing our own stories. We're both school choice beneficiaries, but we bring a fun twist to it, right? We both think we're funny, but we bring kind of an entertaining. And of course, Black Minds Matter, our very good colleague, Denisha Merriweather, created that organization out of the riots that took place in 2020.
All right.
And we saw so much within the Black community just broken and out of sorts. We said a lot of the issues can be fixed through education, right? So why aren't we out there protesting the injustices done within our education system, right? You got 15%, less than 15% of Black eighth graders who can read on grade level. Why aren't we storming
Wow.
the streets then? Why aren't we speaking out there for our children? And so she's created a network of Black-owned schools, 300 plus Black-owned schools across the country who are doing great things, great work in their schools, and really inspiring children to love their education. And of course, the last project you mentioned, my Spanish, so I'm not going to do a disservice and try to pronounce it, but similar things. Hispanic families, Latino families want school choice. They want options. And so we take a lot of our information, a lot of our data, and we translate it in Spanish so they can be involved in the movement as well.
Right.
Yeah. And what do you think about this curriculum around the country with CRT and this hyper sexualized sex education that they're kind of pushing out there? What is your opinion about those?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of different things going on in the country, and I would much prefer for parents to make the best decision for their children, right? Parents want different things, and the education system is not a one size fits all model. And so, if you have a parent who says, "I don't agree with what's being taught," they should be able to take those education dollars that are already allocated to educate their children and put them in a place where parents are happy, whether it's curriculum, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
When you try to put one solution on millions of families across the country, someone will not be happy, right?
right.
So
True.
the great solution is school choice and educational freedom, and letting parents unpack all of those things themselves, and giving them the power to make that decision. So when it comes to curriculum, when it's to all of these different things, it's like people are going to do what they want, right?
Right.
I just want parents and families calling the shots for their own children. And I think that's really the best way to solve a lot of those issues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's well said. We're running out of time a little bit, but I do want to ask you, and I know Stephanie's curious too. Do you stay in touch with anybody from the White House?
A little bit, yeah, yeah. I sure do. Secretary DeVos being one of them.
Uh-huh.
She is a huge hero and role model for me. So we run into each other every now and then, on the school choice trail. She recently just wrote a book, so she's been doing a book and things like that. The School Choice Boys actually had the opportunity to interview her about the book, which was really cool. And so yeah, so there's a few other people that I keep in touch with.
Awesome.
Always trying to learn, always trying to make connections. Like, hey, this is where I'm going to end up. What's it like?
Right.
Having dinner in the White House, or what's it like?
Yeah.
In the West Wing and all of those things. But yeah, definitely keeping those connections very close to me.
That's cool.
That's awesome. Well, we could talk another shoot.
We're gonna have to
hour.
have you back,
Yeah,
dude.
he's gonna have
That's
to
all,
come back. That went way too
because
fast.
you didn't shoot any blanks today, so no, we're gonna have to have you back.
Yeah, that went way too fast. And,
Yeah.
I have more stuff, but we're out of time. But thank you so much, Walter, for coming on. You are just an incredible human being. And as young as you are, it's amazing all that you're doing.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. That means the world to me. Please have me back on.
Oh,
anytime.
we're gonna
we
have
will.
you back on
We
sooner
have
than
to-
later. Trust me, my friend.
Yeah, we'll
we
follow
will.
you. Yep.
Good.
Thank you again. All right, very impressive. What can you say?
Yeah, incredible kid. It's
Yeah.
amazing. We need millions more just like
Yeah.
him with that much motivation. He's intelligent,
Totally.
speaks well. Yeah, he wants to make a difference and
he's motivated.
for the better. Yeah,
And
I
he's
love it.
motivated. It
Yep.
was good. We will have him back
Oh,
on
for
sooner
sure.
than
We'll
later.
have to follow him.
All right, let's go wrap it up for another Pick Your Politics for Mulligan, Stephanie. I'm Dennis. Remember, get out and vote. That's the most important thing. And we'll see you all back very soon. So until then, so long, everybody.
See you later.